This information is for educational purposes only, does not constitute legal advice, and does not create an attorney-client relationship. If you need legal assistance about a legal problem, contact an attorney.
My relationship with the medical board began in May of 2019. They suspended my license for 1 year. However, very unfortunately, this was when COVID occurred as well. So COVID created some delay in things. The Texas Medical Board did not proceed efficiently, in my opinion. So that 1 year suspension, or what was supposed to be a 1 year suspension, turned into 3.5 years.
Oh my gosh.
And by this time I was not working, nor could I find work with a suspended medical license. And so it wasn't until 2023 that I was able to go back to work. And late 2022 is when my suspension was finally lifted in Texas. And so by that time I had moved to Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana, like I was saying. And so I had to, declare my issues with the Louisiana Medical Board, and the two kind of talked with each other. And I was excited to kind of start fresh. I did my time, so to speak, in Texas. Right. I knew that Texas Medical Board had a reputation for being harsh, so I just assumed that Louisiana would essentially take what Texas is saying. Hey, he's served his time. We've listed his suspension. He's now ready and safe to practice medicine again. But unfortunately, that did not happen. And Louisiana Medical Board put me on probation. And so when I worked for a year in Louisiana under probation, it created a lot of issues in terms of getting on insurance companies' contracts, and getting privileges at certain hospitals and or surgery centers. A lot of times they have bylaws where they won't license someone or get you a contract if your license is suspended or if you're on probation. And so it created a lot of issues for me, and that only made the burnout even worse. I thought going back to work was going to fix all my problems, at least, the anxiety and the depression that had formed. And it did. Going back to work did help that. But because of the continued issues, I realized within 6 weeks that I really did not, the passion that I had for clinical medicine wasn't there anymore. I loved my patients. I loved fostering relationships with patients. But after my 1 year contract was up, the venture capital firm that purchased the practice that I was working for did not renew my contract because, again, they just took one look at the probation and made that decision. But that's when I decided to retire, so to speak, from clinical medicine and start working with other physicians who are going through burnout. Especially if they have consequences with the medical board or if they have any issues with substance abuse, which is very common. But it was nice to kind of feel passionate about my professional life again. And I will second what you were saying. It's vital to have an attorney or someone with previous experience with the medical board in terms of, because I was exactly as you described. I was excited to cooperate with them, and I was excited in the beginning to show them everything and give them everything possible because I was thinking, more information can only be helpful to me because I don't feel like I'm guilty of what they're accusing me of. And so if I were to give a piece of advice to someone who has an impending meeting with the Texas Medical Board, it would be to get an attorney or to speak with someone who has experience in the process, and just to realize from the very beginning that the Texas Medical Board is not your friend. They're not there to help you in this circumstance. And you really do yourself a disservice if you don't realize that early on. Because like you said, things that you do or not do or things that you say can really come back and bite you.
Yeah, they can just be so misconstrued by the board, and you are left going, wait, that's not what I wanted you to think, or that's not what I meant.
Know Your Regulator, the podcast that inspires you to engage.